Patty, welcome to Cat on the Loose.
Hi, how are you?
It's so good to have you back. I know how busy you are, and I have to say, I'm so grateful. It's such an honor having you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
So, ever since the first time you're on the show, like I think it
hmm
was a couple years ago, and we were so small, and now we grew
hmm
into this big worldwide community, I've been bombarded with questions for you.
Oh, okay. Well, bring
We
it
had,
on.
yeah, so my team, like we were looking, like there's over 100. So I'm like, let's try to pack up as much as we possibly
Okay.
can here.
Uh,
It's Valentine's week, the week of
Yeah.
love. So I want to start with that because I know a lot of people this week, singles, they get really sad, really depressed.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
what you suggest? Should the singles like just take a break from dating and stay home this week, or go for it? And maybe there are other
Um,
singles out there.
it's really weird right now, post-COVID, and the world has kind of gone upside down. Like in California, we're depressed right now because the fires,
Yeah.
and it's our third last max exodus. Everybody's leaving again. Um, I'm like a girl that just ignore Valentine's Day.
You
I'm in an
ignore it.
ignore phase. Like if you're going through hell, get your favorite foods, watch favorite movies, go with your girls.
Yeah.
You can do a Valentine's Day. You want to drink earlier than later because you don't want to hit the prefix at the restaurant. But you know, it's like no big deal. Men don't think about it. It's not
I
their thing.
know,
So
I
they don't
know.
so they're not, like, looking at it like is their year in review, like their New Year's Eve or something,
I
you
know I
know?
see so many women getting depressed, but I'm kind of like you. Like
I
I'm
just
like I
forget
get
it's
my
one
girls and like yeah, I
day.
get my girls and like let's have pizza or dinner or
But Friday
something.
it'll be by Saturday morning, it's over. It's not a big
Yeah,
deal. It's just,
totally.
it's a Hallmark holiday, really.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's not the end all to be all to your love life. It's not a report card.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think I heard somebody say on social media, I forgot who it was, they're like, no, it's a great day for singles to be out
You
because there are
can't
a lot of singles
Well,
everywhere.
if you see a guy out, normally he doesn't have a girlfriend unless, she's in the army or something.
Yeah,
But, you would go earlier than later, like happy hour, and then get out. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Good idea. I've seen a lot of experts, and I say that quote because
Mhm.
most people claim they're experts with dating
Mhm.
relationship and they're not, but a lot of talk about that on social media lately that there has never been more singles than now.
Yes, the statistics.
Why do you think that
Um,
is?
because women don't wanna date down. So they found out that the men are economically behind the women. There are more women in college. We may not get equal pay for equal dollar, but there's more of us than there are men, especially in the boomer category. And women they're fed up. They're like, "I'm not taking care of you, paying for you, doing for you 50-50, plus taking care of the kids, and you don't lift a finger."
Yeah,
So they're like, rather than that, they've opted to either A, not get married and have children,
yeah.
or B, they can't find the mate. The biggest problem they see is people can't find one another. That's like my number one gripe that I get. And it's true. I was on the apps last night and it's not the app's fault. It's the quality of people on the apps. The quality is,
Really
I mean,
bad.
it looks like they fell out of prison,
Yes.
and by age 50, you think they'd own a house and
You would
have a
think.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
but they don't. They don't. They just don't, and I looked all over the country. I didn't look in California. I looked in Miami. I looked in Boston. I looked in
Yeah.
Chicago. I looked in New York. It was pretty bad.
It's not a California problem, right? Yeah, because I
No,
get
it's
these
in
messages.
everywhere. I've been
Yeah.
in France last summer. I looked in Italy. And there's not a lot of quality men on these
Right.
apps. You got a lot of great women.
You think there's a lot of quality women, but the issue is like, so there's a lot more great women
Yeah.
than men.
Women tend to pull themselves together resource-wise. They will get their hair and makeup done. They'll make sure they have money in their bank account.
Yeah.
They are paying their rent, and they wanna know that the trajectory of a man is not its potential. They've reached the trajectory. Like, I'm in tech. I'm gonna own my own tech firm one day. I'm CEO of this one. Like, they wanna know there's an end game if they're gonna mate with you and bear your children. Now, if you're older, like over 50, you definitely don't wanna
Right.
date down. You
Right.
definitely don't wanna waste time.
No, I agree. And I'm like that. And I know a lot of my girlfriends are like
Yeah.
that. And people ask me, why are you still single? Are you still single? I say, I'm really, really picky. And I do this non negotiable
Yeah,
list.
of
I don't know what you
course.
think about
No, I've done
that.
the same thing.
Yeah, for me, like I
I've
literally
made a
write
l
on a piece of
Look,
paper.
I've made a lot of mistakes based on chemistry because you're
Same.
either
Yeah.
chemistry ruled, which is sex,
Yeah.
or money ruled. Sometimes you get both, but
Yeah.
90% of the time it's one or the other. I was always chemistry ruled. Got
Yeah.
me in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help it. I would go out with a rich guy, and he wasn't good looking or I wasn't attracted, and I'd be like,
Yeah,
I can't do
I
this.
know. You have to have
'Cause I made
chemistry.
my own money, so I
Yeah,
didn't need
right.
to be on the
Yeah.
sugar daddy list.
We don't want a guy to pay our bills. However, I always say that on the podcast and on social media, and I know it's very controversial, but you probably agree with me. Even if we don't want the guy to support us
Mhm.
and pay our bills, I think a guy should
No, no, I come
pay
from
for
I am
dates,
I
pay
am a
for
I'm a
dinner,
raised a
right?
Jewish girl, okay? So, I'm not going 50-50.
Same.
You're I've done
No way.
50-50. I've taken
You
care of
have?
men, I've done it
Oh my
both.
God.
It's been awful. I
I
was
cannot
younger.
imagine you doing
I
that.
was younger,
That's
made
horrible. Yeah.
mistakes, like I said, I made
Yeah.
mistakes, and then, I'm at the place in my life where, bring it or get out of the way because 'cause I'm not taking care
Same.
of you.
I
I'm not
agree.
doing and I also, like the nurse with the purse thing, I'm not
Yeah.
doing that either. Like, he's gotta be in my age group, fit and in shape and
Yeah.
have the qualities that I'm looking for,
I
yeah.
totally agree with
Otherwise, I don't
you.
need this aggravation. I'd rather
I
stay home and
know.
watch television, to be
Same. I'd
honest with
rather
you.
stay home with my
Yeah,
dogs. But I
really.
think more and more women are like that. They're just
Well,
getting
no,
so
the
picky,
younger
right?
women are sober now. So they're not drinking and they're not partying and they're
Yeah,
clear-headed, way clear-headed than we were ever. Because
I
we didn't know
agree.
that alcohol and pot would give us brain damage,
I
as
know.
Dr. Amen says. But the women now are sober. They're making more money. Like in Korea, it started where they went on strike. I forget what it's called, like the four T's or something. You could look this up because they're doing it in America now, um, where they went on strike. They're like, "We're making money." The boys were in their parents' house jacking off to porn and playing video games, and they're like, "No, no, we're making money as influencers, making successful money in skincare and beauty, and you're doing nothing. I'm not gonna take care of you."
I know.
And
No,
so it
that's
kinda
embarrassing,
traveled
right?
around the
I know.
world, this momentum, because they're like, "If we don't see quality, why would we get out of bed for it?"
I agree. And I always mention that, I see
And
some
I'm not down
guys.
on men.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
telling men, like, if you wanna stand out from the pack and get that 10 or
Yeah,
that 8 girl, you need to fucking pay attention and
totally.
actually ask her out, initiate,
Yeah,
whether you're gonna slip into her DMs or, go on an app or see her at the grocery store, like at Whole Foods would be
yeah,
fantastic, but approach, because you're gonna
yes.
stand out compared to all the men that
Oh
don't
my
ask her
God,
out, and I'm
I
talking
know.
about beautiful women that don't get asked out.
Yeah, no, I think men are very shy in public. Most men. I see like
No,
super successful men that don't
I
approach.
think they're lazy.
You
There's a
think they're
they're
lazy?
lazy. There's not a I don't think shyness because you don't want a shy man. You want a man with
I
confidence.
don't.
You don't want a lazy guy. You want a guy who's got confidence and is an
Yeah,
alpha.
totally. No,
And
I
the beta
agree.
women are not gonna become alpha for the man. They don't want it.
Yeah, and I see a lot of guys complain that
Mhm.
going on dates is very expensive. Like, I'm paying for dinner, I'm paying for
Oh
this,
my
I'm
god.
paying for
Okay,
that. It drives me crazy
if a
when
guy
they
I've
do that because we spend even more, right? Like, they don't know how much it costs for us to look fabulous, right? It costs so much money to be like a high
If
quality
you
woman.
hear a guy on the first phone call start complaining about money, his career, run.
Oh, I do. I know. I
Run!
know.
He is a cheapskate.
Yeah.
He doesn't want I bet you he's never been married, didn't have kids. Like, he's got nothing going on.
Yeah.
Get out of there, get out of
No, I
there.
agree. I think guys should provide, like, even if it's dates, right? There's no question
Yeah,
about
old school
it.
the reason the world worked prior to this in the old school way is because women were meant to bear the children and the man was supposed to provide and
Yeah.
protect. Now men don't really wanna provide and protect at all.
Oh my God. So where are
Okay.
but there are guys,
There are
they're
guys, it's
there,
just like 1
right?
in 10, like
Well,
1
I
in
think
10.
maybe 1 in 100.
Okay, wait, okay, maybe in
You're being
LA, it's 1 in
LA's,
100.
but the people in New York say the same thing. Like, I can't find a guy in New York. The
No, no,
girls in my
everybody
everywhere.
it's a good idea to switch cities every now and then
Yeah.
because then you're the new fish in the new pond, and it's like, if you keep going the same place over and over again,
Yeah.
it's the definition of insanity, so you
Yeah.
might wanna, like, for instance, I'm going for 2 weeks in March, and I'm single right now, so
Where are you
I'll
going?
date, to Miami.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll go down there and I'll date for a while, and
Yeah.
it's one of my happy places, and so I went to
Yeah.
college down there, and my friends are there, and it's gonna be a different experience than it is in
Yeah.
California, which everyone's depressed because of the fires,
Oh
and
my
no one's getting out of the house, and what I just saw online was I mean, I looked at Hinge last night, it was
Oh
pretty
my God.
bad. Pretty
Yeah, it's
bad.
every once in a while same. I
And it's
go.
not Hinge's fault.
So let's
So
talk
let's be
about the dating
careful.
apps for
The
a
apps,
second.
the technology is fantastic.
Yeah,
You could drop a pin and go anywhere in the world. It's not Hinge's fault. It's the quality of the
the
people
quality.
that.
But so I want to ask your opinion about the dating apps. I feel, and this is my perception, that a lot of men, even high quality men, men in their 50s, their 60s, are becoming like teenagers again, players again, because of the dating apps, because they see so much
Maybe.
quantity,
But I mean,
and they're like, oh my god,
I think that you're looking for character, so you wouldn't look at him anyway. It's all about finding the man who dates within his age group and has good moral character. Otherwise, why would you go on a date with some guy?
Yeah,
You
because
can't
sometimes you don't know in the
I mean,
beginning.
you're gonna become like a plastic surgery junkie at some point to keep up with the Joneses. No, he's not your guy. Your
Yeah.
guy is somebody who sees you, the inside of you as well as the outside of you. Otherwise, forget it. It's a waste of time.
And so, do you think it is possible to find these great high quality guys that we are looking for on
Yeah,
dating
but
apps?
I think that you got to keep playing with it. I have friends who've really met great guys. I've been engaged through dating apps, so you just got to keep playing with it.
Yeah. So,
It's
do you have
not
a
a. It's
favorite that you recommend?
no. I mean, I'm on Bumble and Hinge.
Same.
Raya threw me off because I said that Ben Affleck was on it on television. I think it was on one of the talk shows.
I
and
think
I
Raya's the
got
one that
true.
has the most players.
I got kicked off. Match. I just left. Match was horrible.
Yeah, I think
Match
Match
was
has the
so
worst
quality.
quality.
Oh God, Match is bad. Bumble
Yeah.
is a great interface. The problem is we pick on Bumble the women,
Yeah.
so it might attract some feminine men who want to get picked.
Yeah, I don't
And
like
and
that.
I just feel like the job markets on these apps are bad. Like in other words, these guys aren't. It's not like LinkedIn and he's a CEO.
Yeah.
Like they're just so low rent. It's like I don't want to. It's nothing. I'm not faulting the apps. I'm faulting the. Blush put me on, and it's way too young for
Oh
me.
my
I'm
God,
way too
Blush is
old.
like the
It's like
worst.
half
Yeah.
my age. It's like, but
Yeah.
they've got these young guys coming at me, and
I
I'm like,
know.
my assistant met someone on Blush that she liked, but she's 30. There's not a lot of apps. There's a lot more. I'm going to give you one more thing. For app makers who are going into AI, there's a lot of room to make an app. I'd love to make my own app. There's a lot of room because there's
You should make your high
because
quality app.
it's the same people over and
Yeah,
over again.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they let anybody in there, like you said.
Well,
To me, it's
they're
like finding a
yeah,
diamond in the
yeah.
sand.
Hopefully
It's
they don't
very
let
hard.
Kanye West in there.
Oh my God.
Like God
They
only
might.
knows.
They
Him
might,
and
right?
him
Who
and
knows?
Bianca Suri swinging with swastikas on.
Oh
I want to
my
murder
God.
him
It's
this
such
week.
chaos, right? Did you see the post
I
David
cannot
Schwimmer
believe
did?
that
I know.
NFL and
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm surprised. I love the NFL. They made my show a hit. Why would the NFL and Fox allow that? Did somebody
I
not
don't
screen
know.
it?
I don't know.
And then
That's a
Shopify
good
just
question.
dropped them. And then we have a situation where the guy who owned American Apparel is the one who makes the stuff, and he's Jewish. So we're all like in shock right now.
He's like, it's
Yeah,
all
they
about
had a pop
money.
up for the Gap this week, and
Oh
they
my
stopped it.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah, as long as people keep giving him a platform to speak up,
it's
right?
horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
it's
But that's an
horrible.
example of character.
Yeah,
Like Kim is cringing in the corner right now because
yeah.
Chris's best friend, Shelly Azoff, is Jewish. Like I'm sure like they have a million Jewish friends.
Oh my
But
God.
you want to look at the character of the person. Like
Yeah.
stop looking at just like how much money does he make? Is he good
Yeah.
looking? Is it like what kind of person is he? Was he with his
Totally.
exes, his ex-wife, his children,
Yes.
his mother, the waitress? Like what's he
Oh my God.
like?
No, I totally agree. I think
Yeah.
you have
Does he have a
to.
temper? How does he
Yeah.
resolve conflict? Like number one question I ask on a first date is how do you resolve conflict?
That's
It'll
a really
it's
deep
a
one.
very telling question, and
That's a
if
very.
the guy's like, "Well, I first react by screaming," well, he's
But
not your guy.
usually on first dates, second dates, everybody's like on their best behavior. These guys will say anything, like, right? They lie, they bullshit.
Mhm.
It happens over and
Mhm.
over. I keep saying, like, just be real, be yourself. But in the first dates, they will try to like show you that they're the nicest guy in the world. So it's really hard to see past that.
Right, exactly.
It's really tough. So other than the dating apps, what are your suggestions?
Well, I'm a matchmaker, and
No, I know. I want to talk about
matchmakers are the
matchmaking.
best.
I
They're
agree.
worth every penny. They can be quite expensive, 50 to 150 grand, but they are worth
But that's okay.
everything.
So hold on. Let's because that
I
was
mean,
going to
you
be my
want
next
rich men,
question.
you're gonna have to pay
So
us
to work with
access to.
you, it's between 50
No,
and 100.
mine. I'm like 85 to 250 because
for,
I'm the
for a
leader.
match.
I'm the
Of
leader,
course,
and
you're the queen.
And
of,
the industry has changed. It's
Yeah.
mostly women who
So,
pay.
but Patti,
Women are the ones who are paying now.
This is what I want people to listen to because we got questions
More
about
than
that
the
all
men.
over the world.
Okay.
a lot of people
Mm,
and friends of mine as well, they
mm,
try matchmakers. And if you guys go to YouTube to see my hands, my sign, the video, quote unquote, because there are so many girls out there that know nothing about matching.
mm.
I fell for one last. I didn't pay, but
Who was it?
I'll tell you the
No,
freaking
I want
story.
to
You're
know the
gonna die
name.
of a
You
heart
edit it out.
attack.
Who is it?
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell
Okay.
you.
Okay.
But because this girl's like, I'm a matchmaker. I'm gonna
Everybody thinks,
match you.
yep,
And then they end up falling. Like
no, we
this
have a school.
person matched me. I'll tell you really
Okay.
quickly. This person matched me with a dude. Turns out he didn't have a job. He was a big con artist. He started stalking me
Mm,
on social media,
mm.
writing crap about me, and almost
Yeah,
physically
they didn't scream.
attacked
They
me
didn't scream.
on the street.
Hmm.
And when
I don't have that
told
job.
her
I don't have that problem because, well, the
exactly,
reason is not. Is that where's wood? I need
but
wood.
listen, when I
I
told
never
her
been
about
sued,
it,
so I'm
she
lucky.
was like, "It's not my fault. I'm never gonna match her. Don't contact me again." She was mad at me because I mentioned to her that the guy was a psycho.
Mhm.
So it happens to a lot of
Okay, now
people
tell me
out
who it is
there.
and edit it out.
I
No,
will.
edit
I
it
will.
out.
No,
You're gonna edit
after
it out.
Cat on the Loose is not edited.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
100% organic. It's the number one organic podcast in the world. I'll
Everybody
tell you
edits.
all.
The whole world
I
edits.
don't.
Okay, of
That's
course.
so. But listen.
Mm,
So a lot of people go to these cheaper matchmakers and they get horrible results.
mm,
And then they go, "Oh, I'm never going to use a matchmaker again." And I say, "Hence, go to the top. Go to someone who has at the
mm.
top of their game as yourself." So what would you say to someone out there that
Well, you have to get certified. We have the Matchmakers Institute in New York, which is my ex-assistant,
ah
which is like going to Hogwarts, and Harvard had a baby, and I teach there. So does my business partner, Bonnie Winston, and you got to make sure, like, I've been in business for over 35 years. I'm third generation. I ran Great Expectations. I mean, I have a history.
oh my
You know,
God.
like,
So,
I don't
yeah,
have any problems. Like, you don't see me
right.
in the news getting sued or whatever
No,
crazy
and you would
stuff.
never match someone with some crappy asshole that you didn't veto
No,
before.
no, because we only get really wealthy, high-end, super
Yeah.
successful CEOs and, entrepreneurs and people like that. We don't get people like that.
And it's one of the most important decisions of your life. That's what I tell
No, I mean,
people,
I
right?
can't take 150 grand from a woman and not screen the guy. Like, that's crazy. I would be
Right.
sued. No, we don't do that.
So go to the best. And can you explain the process? So let's say somebody says, because I have a lot of really wealthy guy friends that
We
that
do
want to
men
get married,
we do men and
men
women,
and
and we do
women.
gay and straight.
So let's
Mhm.
say somebody says, okay, I want to work with Patty. I want her to find me a husband, a wife, whatever. Can you like explain the
Well, I mean,
process?
we would come in and we would set up a Zoom or local, depending on where they lived, and then we would see if it's a fit on both sides,
Uh
what they're
huh.
looking for versus what we have, and what we can do to go outside our database. We have the largest database in the business. There's nobody bigger than me globally. I'm
So the
global.
database is
I'm not
like
just the United States. I'm
the
everywhere.
database is people that might be a match to your
Yes, that are the
clients.
non-millionaires. Yeah.
And how do you get on your data? Because maybe a lot of people cannot afford to be your client. How can they be on your
They can just go to the
database?
website at millionairesclub123.com.
Anybody can apply.
Anybody can apply.
Yeah,
You're not likely to get a date more than the clients get the
of
date, and I only
course.
take about 30 clients a year. I'm very strict on that. I take
That's a
and then
lot.
if I can't find it for you or I don't feel we're a good fit, I will outsource you to one of my affiliate matchmakers who I work with.
So okay, but you approve? Obviously, you don't approve everybody that wants to be
No.
on your database.
No, database is like anybody can go in there, but once I go for screening process,
Yeah,
if you don't, you know, if
yeah.
you do pull a stunt on something, no, you're kicked out.
How can you give us an idea how you screen someone? Because I'm sure a
I
lot of people.
cannot give you my information because it's proprietary and who's
Oh,
my
okay.
competitors are
You're
listening.
gonna try to
I
learn.
do a little
Uh,
background thing that I
yeah,
do
I'm sure you
myself
do.
that I check to see if they're
So
legit.
you
I have
want
ways of knowing if person's legit
so all
or
your
not.
clients are millionaires, like you're
Multi-millionaire.
multi-millionaires. They're
Yeah.
very
And
picky.
billionaires. A lot of
So they're
billionaires.
very picky.
Yeah, you see Forbes 400 lists, I've got a lot of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously the people
And I've
on
got
the
a lot of
database.
A-list celebrities that you would know too.
So I think that you should be as much as you possibly want to find in a partner yourself.
Hmm.
Do you agree?
To agree, but I mean, when a man is the alpha to a woman's beta, it's a different energy. Like,
Yeah.
it's all about energy, really. It's all about chemistry, compatibility, communication, you know, consistency. Consistency is really key. Like, you could deal. Had one CEO I was dating, and he was so inconsistent. I was just like, I have no patience. He's like, no woman has ever told me that they wouldn't wait for me because of work. And I went, well, this woman is. You're not what I'm looking for. I'd rather have somebody who makes less money and we have consistency."
Yeah.
And he wanted me to wait for him, and I was like, "No, I don't really like
You
you."
wanted you to wait for him to be
Yeah,
ready for
like,
the day.
so that when his work eased up,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like we started off and then his work happened. It was like he started off a workaholic, so it was turned me off because I work really hard too, but I know priorities. I know how to
Yeah.
prioritize my time
Yes.
with my mate. Anyway, this person was very famous in the news. He was very nasty. He called I got fixed up through another matchmaker, obviously, because we all work together. Everybody wants to
So you
get
all know each other. I
yeah,
mean, I think they
yeah,
all aspire
yeah.
to be you at
And
the end
I
of the
told the
day.
matchmaker what he did wrong, and the matchmaker's like, "But he's CEO of X." And this matchmaker was a male. And I said, "Who cares? He treats women like shit.
Yeah,
Bye, next."
I agree. That's not
And then once in
acceptable.
a while I get a phone call from him and I just delete it. Last time I blocked him. So how you treat someone
Yeah.
is so much more important than his resume. Like, his resume is one thing, but if he treats women like crap, or women treating men like crap,
Oh,
same thing.
yeah, I
Or
agree.
gay people, it doesn't matter. How you treat someone is really important.
I completely agree. For example, I know one thing that women do a lot is like they're crazy late for a date because they think it's cool. And
That's Latin, very Latin-y. The
but
Latin community does that in
Russian
Florida a
ladies
lot.
do that.
You have
I
to you
know.
have to
I
trick
agree.
them.
And believe me, I'm Latin and I never make people wait for
I'm
me
like I'm
ever.
earlier on
I'm
time.
same,
My parents
same,
trained me that way. It's
same. Because
rude, it's
I
rude.
agree. I'm right there. I'm very
But I had
respectful of people's
all
time.
my I had a best friend from
Yeah,
Colombia when I lived in Miami, and I used to trick her every single time to come on time because we'd be waiting at the
yeah.
restaurant for her, and we couldn't get the table. And I said, "I can't do this anymore
And
with
it's so
you." And she'd
disrespectful,
be like,
right?
"But I took care of my" she's like, "Charo,
Right.
but I took care of my hair and my makeup." I'm like, "Who
I
cares?
know.
Who
It's
cares? Come in jeans and
disrespectful.
put eyeliner and go and lip gloss, let's go."
I agree. And but some women think, oh, the more the guy waits. And I'm like, this is such a bullshit
No, no,
game.
men don't like that.
Men don't like
Men
that. I
I get
agree.
complaints on that. If a woman is late, she gets, probation, and then she's thrown out of the club on the second time.
I love that because I'm like you. I'm
Yeah,
insanely punctual. I'm
yeah.
insanely
My clients wouldn't
respectful.
go for that.
But what I mean is like I think if you want somebody that is really fit, you should be fit yourself. If you want somebody
Oh,
that
oh,
you know what
oh,
I mean, like
yeah,
you
I
should
mean,
have certain
like
characteristics.
attracts like to a degree, but there are plenty of women that don't hit the gym that the man does. He's Mr. Bodybuilder, and she, like, goes and gets a massage or maybe has an hour of Pilates. Like, don't put yourself so strongly. Like, you have to get, if
Mhm.
you're rich, then you can only get rich. That's dumb. That
Yeah,
men
that
men
doesn't
like
work
women
like
who
that.
really don't make very much money. They're actually the ones that get the
I
most
agree.
play.
I think they're
They
more
don't like
intimidated by women
they
like
don't like
us, right? That work a lot, they're super successful. I think that's harder.
They don't like, successful women, and this is a big problem. They're intimidated by women's
Yeah?
success, but they're falling behind economically. They don't have hustle. Now, you have to understand, scientifically, women use both sides of the brain, but they were never engineered to be the breadwinner. And eventually, when they get to menopause, they crash into an autoimmune disease because they've overstressed their adrenals, which they weren't supposed to do because this whole you can have it all. Oh, fry it up in a pan was this commercial back in the day when I was a kid. I'm every woman, fry it up in a pan. I can be rich. I can be successful. I can make it from my kitchen table, and I can have 4 kids, like
I
Alec
can do it.
Baldwin's
Can do it
wife,
all.
and I can basically take care of my man at the same time and mother him, and he's never gonna leave me. And no,
Yeah.
that's not really true.
Yeah, I know. But so if somebody's your client and they're paying, so how many dates you try to
You
match
get
them
unlimited dating
until they
depending
find the
no,
right
no,
person?
no, no. You get unlimited dating for the period of the membership that you buy. Okay, and
Okay.
maybe a freeze period. Depends what membership. We have various different memberships.
Okay. But
Yeah.
what's normally the rate of matches that
They get unlimited.
no,
Unlimited.
but like I meant the percentage of people that you actually
Usually it's by the third person you meet is the one you end up with.
Oh, really?
Statistically. Yeah.
Any reason for that?
No, it's just the way it's always been that way.
But
Mhm.
most people do find their
Yeah,
match.
unless they've changed. Sometimes people change their style
Yeah.
and then they just keep going through it, or they don't listen and they pick wrong. Other times, they've been cheated on, they've had issues like that.
Yeah.
But 99%, if they do, we have a system. If they do the system, they find love. I
Okay.
never have a problem with that.
Amazing.
That's not the least of my problem. The one complaint I get is you gave me too many choices
Aw.
of people and I don't know what to do. And can you help me narrow it down?
They like more than one
No, no,
person.
no. I've given them too
Yeah,
many
yeah.
choices in the course of their membership,
Uh-huh.
and they can't decide which ones
Which
they like
one?
because
Which
they like
one?
them all. Yeah.
Oh my God. What do you think about the sex? It's very controversial, right? I think
You
it
mean
was,
sex before monogamy? My
yes,
thing?
that's what I want
It's
to
not
ask.
controversial. It's true.
But you think you shouldn't have sex after a few dates?
No. Sex before monogamy. He gives you monogamy in the first date. You can, but you're at risk. The more time you spend with him without sex, the more his testosterone raises. This is science. Vasopressin kicks in. Vasopressin is him doing things for you, doing things together, solving problems. That's how a man falls in love. When a man falls in love through vasopressin, oxytocin kicks in, and that's when he falls in love. He can't fall in love with oxytocin. We have sex, oxytocin kicks in, we fall in love. He does not fall in love through sex. He falls in love through doing for you.
So let's say you meet someone, you go on one date, two dates, three dates. You just keep going on dates until he says, I
He
want to
hit
date you
he
exclusively.
he basically will hit on you at some point. And you'll say, I am so sexually attracted. And by the way, this is all in my book, Become Your Own Matchmaker. You can get it on Amazon. I'm super sexually attracted, but I'm just not the type of girl that sleeps around. Stop. Do not fill in the blanks. Do not mother him. Do not give him a question. Let that awkward pause happen, and he'll be like, you know, well, I really like you, he's going to say. And you're going to say, well, I don't feel safe, you know, unless I have exclusivity. And
Hmm.
he's probably going to go, A, I thought we were exclusive because he assumed it. Or B, wait, I got to try the car before I buy it. If he says, I try to try the car before I buy it, he's not your guy. But 90% of the time, he'll say, I think we should try this exclusivity. And then you say, what does exclusivity mean to you?
Yeah.
He'll explain. But exclusivity means we're only dating each other and we're only having sex with each other. Okay? Doesn't mean you're getting married. And at 9 months, then you'll negotiate marriage. The man will know in 6 months, probably by 6 months, if you're the one.
So, but
That's science, by the way. This is all science.
how many dates normally someone should go out with a
There's
guy?
like you're
You
acting
don't
like
know.
you're acting like it's one size fits all for every man you date. Every man
Mm.
is different. The man that's really going to love you is going to take your time and let you feel safe. Eventually, you'll jump him. You'll
I
go, I
love
want
that.
it
Yeah.
now.
They're
Okay?
not gonna pressure you. I think
No,
it's a bad sign
what?
if they because most guys pressure women,
If
to
the
have
man
sex.
pressures you, he's not
Is
your
not your
guy
guy.
because
Yeah.
he won't protect you after you get exclusive or when you're married. He's not
Yeah.
interested in your protection. He's only interested in his own self-pleasure,
Yeah.
and you don't want that. You want a man that's interested in your pleasure. There are plenty of men who don't give a shit that a woman has an orgasm and could care less if he got her one.
Yeah, that's not good at all
And that's
either.
another thing.
Yeah.
So you want to be with a man who puts you on the pedestal first. You want princess treatment. Princess treatment is I demand princess treatment without even saying anything. It's just an energetic thing, which is saying, I deserve the best. You're going to wait if it takes a month or 3 months to have sex. And you'll know when it's right. You'll know when it's right.
Yeah, I think it's a horrible
It's not
idea
when
to
you
feel
get
pressured,
drunk and you
right?
fall
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
It's usually when you're sober, and it's
Yeah.
usually when he's telling you how much he cares for you.
Yeah.
Go.
Now, a lot of people ask, they see your fabulous TV shows. Now they're playing the
On
match
Netflix,
on
yeah.
Netflix.
Millionaire Matchmakers,
Yeah, you've done so many, and I get this question a lot. I'm sure people ask you all the time: Is the Patty that we see on TV? Because you're like tough love.
No,
It's
no,
the same Patty in real
no, it's
life.
a character I play. Look,
TV, you play a little bit for TV,
I
right?
have a work persona,
Uh-huh.
and then when I hit my house, I like to relax. I like it to be in my sanctuary, and I'm very feminine and very zen. I learned over the years how to switch from alpha to beta when I go through that door. I only like alpha men. The minute a man, like I've
Yeah,
had boyfriends where they start off alpha, and then about 6 months in, they want to switch to beta and make you alpha, and I'm like, I'm out the door. I'm always out.
same.
And if they don't get it, I'm out the
Yeah.
door. I am total beta when I'm in a relationship.
I'm exactly the same. I think because we are so much in charge when we are
Yeah,
working,
I'm
right? We're
tired.
charged, charged.
We're
I'm
tired.
like always telling, but in my personal relationship, yeah, I want the guy to take charge
Yeah.
for sure.
Mm.
But So how is it working with you? Not on TV, but like being your client and everything. Is the same kind of
Yeah, I
tough
don't
love. You
scream.
have the
No,
rules.
no, no,
You're
no, no,
more
no.
chill.
No, I'm very chill. I don't scream, I don't yell at the clients. I wouldn't have clients if that's okay. No, I am look, we had 42 minutes to tell a story and get that thing moving, and it was
Yeah.
like, "Go, go, 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 go."
Yeah.
That's how it is at Bravo.
Yeah.
But in my real core business, I have plenty of time to work with them, and I work with them one-on-one. They have my personal cell phone number, they can call me anytime they want, I pick up. Look, if I'm sleeping at 2 in the morning, the first thing I get up in the morning, I'll call them. Customer service is very important at the Millionaires Club. My partner Bonnie and I, we are on it. Most agencies, you do not deal with the owners, and we're very sweet, very compassionate. I have a gay client right now that he's breaking my heart because he's not listening to me and he keeps making mistakes. And I'm like, eventually you'll get it. But he calls me a lot and we counsel him a lot. And I don't complain about it. That's what you paid me for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're also like some sort of therapist.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say I'm a doctor because that's
Yeah, you're
legally
not a
not
doctor,
correct.
but
But I do a lot of healing modalities.
yeah.
I'm more of a healer, I would say.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Mm.
And you kind of like tell them what needs to be done, right? Like
Well,
I
I
don't know if it's
do, but
rules,
they
but
have
you've been doing this for so long that you
that
kind of know what the person should do if you want to be successful in dating.
yeah, I have to give them guidance, but they don't always listen. It
Mhm.
takes like sometimes it takes 3 strikes for them to get it. It's like an addict, they gotta get
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I recommend a therapist if they're very trauma driven, which a lot of people are trauma driven, as we know now. Um, and, you know, you get a lot of narcissists because this is what's like out in the business world.
Yeah.
And they're very selfish. No one's ever said no to them. So
Yeah.
there's
So
that
true.
too.
So what's next for you? What are you working
Well,
on?
I'm working on my real business. We just opened an office in Soho and we're
Wow.
about to build Miami. I'm very excited about that. I'm going to
Amazing.
Miami in 2 weeks and we have an office in Soho. I merged with Bonnie Winston Matchmaking. So
Uh-huh.
we are the leader in the industry. We have the largest database. Um, I'm writing a book on manifestation
Love that.
and I'm up for some stuff that I can't really talk about because I'd
It's
have to
too
kill you.
sick. Oh
Yeah.
my God, please don't kill me yet.
Mm.
It's such an honor having you.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people out there are saying, I want to be on her database. I'm sure you said you have
Yeah,
the
go to
largest
Millionaires
database.
Club,
Go
1,
to
2
Millionaires
there's an
Club.
S in it, Millionaires Club,
What
1,
are
2,
the
3 dot com.
chances that if we are on your database, I'm going to put myself there,
I
by
got
the way.
millions of people in there, I don't know.
I volunteer.
I can't like, when a matchmaker does a
you
search, you never know who's
There
gonna
is
come
no
up.
problem. So if you have a client in LA, let's say Kat is there, you're gonna go through thousands and thousands of girls. It's kind of like winning the lottery, right?
Kinda, kinda.
Kind of like, but
Yeah.
it's
I
worth
mean, it's
trying.
so much better to be a client, so much
Yeah,
better.
if you have money, right? If you have
Yeah.
money to spend,
But
I
no, I
agree.
say to people like, okay, we had this client recently and he wanted to spend 35 grand in an investment fund. And I said, what if I told you with I have other matchmakers, not me. What if I told you I could get you that deal with a junior matchmaker for 3 months and
Uh-huh.
you'd find love or you just have money?
Yeah.
And he was like hemming, talking to his investment banker, his lawyer. He was a little tree, and he came back and he bought because he said, "I'm so lonely in Florida,"
Oh.
and now he's in love.
Oh
I
my
got it to him in the
God.
first month.
Oh
Now he's
my
madly in love.
God.
He's on the west coast of
Aw.
Florida, happy as a pig in shit. 3 months with a junior
Wow.
matchmaker on my staff, and he's happy as forever.
So there are different layers. It's
Yeah.
not just
Well,
that
with me and
with you
Bonnie,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
the
Most people want
highest.
me, yeah.
Of
But
course,
I have
because
I've
you're
trained
the
I have a
queen, but
whole
you
staff.
trained.
We have
What
a whole
I
staff.
say is, like I said in the beginning, don't fall for ask like the track record, look who you are working with
Yeah.
before you complain
Well,
that
there's a lot of lawsuits with the other matchmaking
yes,
companies,
and
and
I'll,
they don't look at it, and
and
they don't
most of
care.
them are new in the business. They have no idea what the hell
Even
they're
the old
doing,
ones don't,
you
work
know?
with the people direct. I do. We don't take on
Yeah.
that many. We take about 30 on a year
I always say like the
personally.
cheap ends up being expensive, and finding the right partner is probably the
Yeah.
most important decision you're ever going to make in your life because I think it affects everything
Yeah, I mean,
else.
we have really young, cute guns. They're trust fund kids in their 20s,
Hmm.
and their mother will buy them a 100-gram membership,
Yeah.
and they're gorgeous and stunning, and the mother
That's
wants them married
amazing.
by
Yeah,
Tuesday, and
that's amazing.
I've had wedding planners go in there and help them.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, I've had, like, anniversary planners, like, I've had party planners. I've had a lot of stuff that we
Yeah.
outsource in the business, and, I had this trust fund kid 2 weeks ago, and he was like, "My mom bought this, but I don't want it." I said, "Okay, I'll just let it sit." And he calls me out 2 days later, "My girlfriend broke up with me.
Aw.
My mom didn't want me to marry her. That's why she bought
Oh
it."
my
I said, "Will you give me a chance?"
God.
He's like, "No, I don't believe in this, blah, blah, blah." 3 weeks later, another phone call, 4 weeks later. Finally, 6 months later, he calls me, he goes, "All right, I'm ready to use it. I've been beaten
There you
up
go.
in LA
Yeah.
badly," and good-looking kid. I said, "I have this perfect girl for you. She lives in Calabasas. You live in Woodland Hills. It's gonna be a shidduch, like a match in Yiddish." And they're dating.
There you
And it
go.
was like the
You
mother
know your
called me
game.
going, "I'm planning the wedding, you're invited."
Oh my God.
Like,
You
we're
know
g
your
yeah,
game.
so it's like and the guy's like, "How does that work?" And I said, "Well, I read vibration, I read energy, like you see in like, on the Millionaire Matchmaker in the hot seat, and I just knew what you needed."
Yeah, you've been doing this a long
I
time,
mean,
so
he gave me, like, like Natalie Portman when she was young as his dream girl, and I
yeah,
just matched it.
you knew
I
exactly
matched
who
that
that.
girl, like,
Oh
to the
my
T, like,
God.
Jewish, the whole thing. I was like, "This is the girl." Yeah.
Yeah,
I've had that where the guys called me. I
I
had a
love that.
billionaire once call me up and on his way back from Australia fishing trip and said, "I want all these models," because I used to put the pictures
Ugh,
on the website.
I
I don't
know.
do that
I
anymore.
know.
And I said, "Okay, I'll give you Mandy, Schmandy, and Sandy, but I have a girl that's a teacher, that lives in Venice. I think you should go on one date." No, no, no. He's at the Beverly Hills Hotel in a bungalow. And in the back, he had this big bungalow. And he's like, I said, "I'll make a deal with you. I never let a girl go to a bungalow. She'll go to it, you'll have coffee or tea, and she'll be out in an hour, and then I'll give you the models." Calls me right from the bungalow an hour after, said, "Cancel all my dates, she's the one." He's married to her to this day
Oh my
and had 3
God.
kids already and had
Holy
another 3 kids with her.
cow.
He's one of the biggest guys in the furniture
There you go.
business.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of these guys think like I have the one. They
I mean, he
don't.
wasn't a gorgeous guy. She was adorable. She was a Reese Witherspoon type, and she was a teacher, and she wanted kids.
Oh
He
my
already had
God.
3 older
I
teenagers. He was like, "I'm
love
not
that.
doing that." Yep. Happiest, and
Okay.
they get a card from them every year.
Well,
"Thank you so much."
so for me, and I know a lot of my girlfriend, a lot of people out there listening, I unfortunately cannot afford it yet, but it's on my bucket list. I'm gonna make a lot of money so I can afford. In the meantime, I'm gonna put my
You
name
never
there
met
on the
anyone
data.
just from the podcast, like a guy slipping into your DMs or anything?
Oh my, all the time. But I'm kind of like super picky, like I said. I know exactly
So
what
you
I
know they're
want. I'm
losers.
dating with intention.
So they're like losers.
Yes, I'm like, I don't want to make the same mistake again. I'm really happy with my life. I
Yeah.
love it.
Because
I've never.
men are a problem.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Men are
just
work.
I ask
They're
my
work.
non-negotiable
Mhm.
questions, and if you don't fit that, I'm like, dude,
Because you
next.
already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I
But
know what
when we
I
were younger, we
want.
didn't know.
No,
So, like,
no,
the
yeah,
young
we fall
girls
for a lot of
I mean,
shit.
also, like, a lot of young girls like to experience a lot of different types. Now I know what
Yeah,
my type is. I know what I want, and
exactly.
it's not I'm
Yeah.
not wasting
I'm
time.
I'm patiently waiting. I'm not desperate. I'm not in a hurry. I
Yeah,
know
I
I'm
took
gonna find the right one.
like, it was really interesting. I took a year and a half off since my last relationship, and I met him on Tinder. And
I
I
remember.
made a lot of mistakes with him.
Yeah.
And I needed to understand why my trauma was so triggered because my dad was an alcoholic, and my mother normalized the crazy in my house. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
realize how she normalized it. So I didn't go to traditional therapy. I did this thing called spiritual response therapy. It changed my life. The clarity that
Yeah.
comes from doing this therapy. I went to a healer who's part of SRT. That's the way they do it. They use pendulums and charts, and they do it while you're sleeping. And I
I
wouldn't
love
believe
that.
this thing would work because talk therapy was never helped me. And it's like, it's okay, you can wait. Like, it's where's
Exactly.
the rush? Where's the fire?
Exactly.
Like, most people are like, you go to dinner and your friends are like, "What's wrong with you? How come you're not dating?" I have friends that have dropped me because I'm
Oh,
not interesting enough because I won't, like, they'll say like, "Oh, you're not dating anyone? What's wrong with you?" Like
I
that.
think
And I thought, "God,
anybody
you're not
that
my
said that is
friend."
because they're jealous of you
I
and your
was like, "I'm taking
success.
a
That's
break.
crazy.
I've no"
Yeah,
because they
exactly.
lived vicariously through me, and
Yeah,
I have nothing to talk about anymore
yeah.
because I'm just like Zen. I'm total Zen.
Exactly same. I'm
Yeah,
at this point in my life. I'm like, I'm so chill about it. I don't want
yeah.
any bullshit.
It's
I
like
don't
if
want any
you don't come through
games.
that door ready-made,
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
dating
But it's kind
potential.
of
No
fun
potential.
to wait and know what we want,
Yeah.
right? It's so
Well, I mean,
so
and the thing
good.
is, I have other
It's a
guy
good
I have
place.
one of my ex-boyfriends asked me to marry him recently, and I have another ex-boyfriend that popped up from Miami. It's like, I think because Venus is going retrograde, I've got all these exes coming back. Even my ex from a year and a half
Oh my
ago
God.
contacted me and we started talking. So I'm like, no, 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 no. I need new. Where's
Yeah.
the new?
Yeah.
So like planting the seeds.
Yeah.
I'm writing a book on manifestation,
Can't
which is
wait.
different than all the
Please
books
let
out
me know when
there.
it comes
It does have
out.
science. I am a big fan. You should have Dr. Stewart on your show. Have you had her on?
No,
Oh my God, she's my
I will
favorite.
definitely
She
try.
is the queen of
Oh my
manifestation.
God.
She wrote the
I'm
book
all about
she wrote the book
manifestation.
called The Source. And it's based on
Oh, I
science.
will definitely
And she's
invite her.
British Indian. She's fantastic. I follow her like religion, and she's just one of the best.
Yeah.
Like like Marissa Peer, also a hypnotherapist, one of my best friends. She's like one of the Mind Valley people. But she told me that the brain only knows what's familiar. So if you keep telling the brain, you know, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not this enough, because we live in
Oh, I
LA where
agree.
everybody's not enough. And we get that. It's like you go to dinner with someone who's so insecure and you go home and you're like, you want to take a shower because you feel so gross. And you're like, I don't understand what just happened. That person was siphoning off your energy as an empath.
Yeah.
And so she talks about that, how to protect yourself, how to build the cone of self-esteem in your brain so that nobody lower than your frequency come in. So if your frequency is really high, you don't want to date someone at a lower frequency because they're going to pull you down. As my grandmother would say, healthy cannot date unhealthy unless they want to become unhealthy
Oh
too.
my God,
That's my
1,000,000%.
grandmother's line.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And
This is so
it's so
important.
important to
So
look at the
important.
frequency
Yeah.
of who you're talking to, not just in love, but in work, in friendship,
Yes,
even family members. If the
I
frequency
agree.
is not right, you don't want to go to Thanksgiving. I'll give you an example. Jesse Waters, who's, you know, the I won't call him a name. I can look him up on Fox. Well, he was a big Republican, probably in the wrong way, because there's good Republicans and there's bad Republicans. There's good Democrats and there's bad Democrats. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent. But
Same.
anyway, his mom didn't want him at Thanksgiving dinner this year, and he didn't understand why. It's his mother. Well, he was doing horrible things, and the mother's like, I can't
I
have
want
you
to be
lower
around.
my
Yeah.
frequency.
I love that.
I thought that was amazing. Like, oh my God, that was
I
friggin'
love, but that is
amazing.
so
But like, we
important.
don't do that. Like, I moved 1,000 miles away from my father because he was an alcoholic and he was driving
Same.
me
My mom was
crazy.
an
Right.
alcoholic.
And
Yeah.
it freed me. So,
Yes.
like, think about that in
Yeah.
love. Why are you dating someone just to get sex? Get a
Oh
vibrator.
my God, 1,000,000%. Thank God you're saying that because you have to protect your energy,
Oh
your
my God, the
space, your
minute that
oh
guy gets
yeah.
inside of you, he will siphon off your
Yes.
energy. Same
So
thing with a
true.
woman, same
It's
thing with
so
gay
true.
people or trans. It doesn't make a difference. Anybody that gets inside of you or
It's
you get
energy.
inside
It's
them, it's
energy.
energy. You are if their energy is not clean
Yeah.
and above board and they
Yeah.
haven't scrubbed it good or done the work on themselves,
Yeah.
you're going to feel like crap
Oh my
after a
God.
while.
1,000,000%. You
And of
have,
course, they'll
yeah.
do the snafu-y and they'll pull away.
No, thank God you're saying all these things because I hope people listen from
You
you
need to
because
get
when I
Dr.
tell my
Tara
friends
on.
that, they don't listen.
Like
Yeah.
Mel
I
Robbins talks
will.
about it. Mel
I
Robbins' book,
will.
like her
I
book
will.
recently, Let 'Em, is
Yeah.
great. Like
Yeah.
all these people are teaching you
Yeah.
to be the queen,
Yeah.
not the princess, the queen. When the queen is looking for a mate, everybody comes to royal court and she decides.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want. You want to have quarters and say,
Yes.
no,
And if your
maybe.
energy is high, if your vibration is high, if you know what you deserve, I think you started, like you
Well,
said
you
about
only
your
get
ex,
the
you
love.
start
Okay,
attracting.
the line before we end is you only get the love you think you deserve.
Love it.
They'll only get the
Love
love
it.
you think.
Love it.
Download that on your computer. Because if you don't think you deserve it,
I
what are
hope
you
you
gonna
made
get?
everybody feel better about
And I'd
Valentine's
rather you
Day.
stay home and watch funny movies
Oh my
and
God,
laugh
yes.
and sing and eat pizza than go out and feel bad about yourself that you don't have a mate. It's only one day. It doesn't mean shit.
Thank you. I
I mean,
love you.
I love the story of Saint. Do you know the story of Saint Valentine?
Yes.
You know that
I
story?
don't I don't know if I know that story. I think
Okay,
you told me that
I'll lead
story
with the story.
before.
Saint Valentine was a priest during the Crusades, and nobody was allowed to get married because the king needed all the men for his, you know, his crusade. And when he was doing the crusades and the wars, the men would jump ship, go AWOL back to their families. So he said, no marriage. Well, Saint Valentine, being a priest, thought that was wrong. So he married people in secret and got caught. And they threw him in jail. he was about to be killed, and the warden's daughter was blind, and she came down to give him the food, and he touched her eyes, and she had miraculous
Aw.
seeing, and the warden was trying to stop the whole thing, but he couldn't, and right before he died, he fell in love with the warden's daughter. He wrote her a note, and it said Valentine at the end. Love you dearly,
Aw.
blah, blah, blah. That's why we write letters. It's Valentine's Day.
Ah,
He
there you
dies,
go.
and the church made him a saint. Saint
Wow.
Valentine's Day.
That's the
No one's ever
nicest
made a movie
story.
on that. Is that wild? That'd be a
Time
great
to make a
movie.
fabulous movie.
Yeah.
You should pitch it.
Yeah, calling Steven
You
Spielberg.
should pitch it.
But
Thank you, my
or Martin
love.
Scorsese.
I
Yeah.
love you. You're so inspiring.
Thank
It's
you.
such an honor having you here.
Thank you very
And
much for having me. But I
oh,
hope that,
I'm
like
so
girls,
grateful.
boys,
Yes.
anybody who doesn't have love, my mama says, all you need is one and done, and you never know when it's going to show up.
And don't settle. Don't
Yeah,
settle
don't
for
settle.
the wrong one.
Don't settle for the wrong one. Better to be alone than have a project that never ends, that drains the crap out of
Yeah,
you.
and by the way, you look
Oh,
fabulous.
thank
You
you.
looked beautiful when I saw you
Oh,
last time 3 years ago, but you look even more
oh,
beautiful. You
thank
look
you.
fabulous.
Thank
Very
you.
skinny. Don't lose more weight.
No, I'm not. I went on GLP tirzepatide. I think that's how you say it.
But you look
Because of
fantastic.
cholesterol.
You
It
look
lowers your
really good.
cholesterol,
You look
and you don't have to go
incredible.
on statins. And I feel fabulous
You
taking
look
it.
fabulous.
I'm at the lowest dose, like maintenance.
Amazing.
Yeah, but I could eat. I had pasta last night. What I
I
like
know
about it
you
is you
eat.
get to eat whatever you want, and
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it. And I'm gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free,
Same.
and I
Yeah.
don't drink. I
Same.
don't do drugs or
I'm
drink.
the same.
I'm like clean. I'm an Air One girl.
Yes,
For anybody in
exactly.
California, you know
Did
what I'm
you get
talking
your
about.
Air One
I'm
snack in the car?
What?
Did you get your Air One gift bag in the
That
car?
was an Air One gift bag
Yeah,
with the Perrier in it.
I left you I brought you
It's like
this little.
chocolate
I bought you this
biscotti.
little Air One
Okay. Oh yeah,
organic
yeah.
biscottis because
Yeah,
it's like
thank
one of
you.
my favorite treats.
I am an Air One girl since the
Yeah,
day it opened in
same.
Venice, and I just eat clean
I
and I
love
cook
it.
clean. Yeah,
Thank you so much,
no
my love. It was
problem.
such an honor having you
Thank
guys.
you.
Self-love
Go to
first.
millionairesclub
Yes,
123.com.
millionairesclub.com and
123.com.
millionairesclub123.com.
There's an S.
I'm going to
Millionaires
put the
Club.
link here. I'm going to
Yeah.
put the links on this episode. If you're listening to the audio episode, make sure you go to Cat on the Loose Show on YouTube
Right.
so you can see her gorgeous face
Thank you.
and be inspired to find love. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
It
Thank
was such
you.
an honor.
Thank you.